Hey, how's it going everybody? MLT Magic Tricks here. So in this video, I'm going to be performing and then teaching you this really great no setup teleportation style card trick that will amaze everyone you perform it to. So make sure you stick around to learn this one. But before we get into the performance, if you are new here to my channel, make sure you do subscribe with those post notifications on for more card and magic trick performance and tutorial videos like this one. If you enjoy this card trick, make sure to leave the video a thumbs up. And now let's get right into this performance. Okay, so I'm going to start off this trick by placing the 4 aces off to the side. We will get to them in a second, but for now, I'm just going to shuffle the cards, mix up the deck a little bit. So with the cards completely mixed up, we are going to take the 4 aces, and I would just start off by introducing my spectator to the aces that we have. So we have the ace of spades, we have the ace of diamonds, the ace of clubs, and lastly, the ace of hearts right here. So I'm going to place the 4 aces right here. I'm going to deal them onto the table, and I'm just going to rearrange the order a little bit of these aces. I actually want the ace of spades to be face up in the front. And now I'm going to take the deck. I'm going to give these cards a quick riffle shuffle, just mixing up the order of cards. And I'm going to deal 3 cards on top of each of our aces on the table, just like so. Now, once I've done this, I'm going to square up each pile of cards. I'm going to snap my fingers over these 3 piles because this is where the magic happens. I'm going to now turn these 3 piles over face up, and you will notice something pretty impossible happening. There's actually no aces in these 3 piles right here. And if we go to the pile that is in front, and I will reveal to you that the 4 aces actually found their way into this pile to make for a perfect 4 of a kind. So guys, that is the card trick. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you want to learn how to perform it, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that performance. This is a really fun card trick to perform and fool people with. Credit to Contrix for this effect. And now let's get right into the tutorial. So all you're going to need for this trick is a deck of cards. And you can go up to your spectator by having a 4 of a kind already on top of the deck. In this case, I just chose the 4 aces. You can choose, any 4 face cards, 4 jacks, queens, or kings, or the 4 aces. Those are the cards that I think work best for this trick. So you can start off with these on top and just, place them face up off to the side, and then have your spectator completely shuffle up the deck. Or you can just have these cards already in the deck, have your spectator shuffle to start, and then you remove them. Either way, you're going to want to get these your 4 of a kind just face up off to the side, and you do need to get a pinky break below the top 3 cards. So that is why I recommend you place the 4 of a kind face up on the table, because then you can just spread out the cards like this to your spectator, casually just make some small talk with them, tell them that all the cards are completely mixed up, and as you square up the deck, you're going to get a pinky break below the top 3 cards. These are random cards. You're just going to get your pinky break like this below the top 3. Make it pretty subtle like that. Try not to flash it to your spectator. Once you have your pinky break, you are going to take the 4 of a kind that you have on the table. You're going to pick up the cards and you're going to place them on top of your pinky break. So now you have a break below 7 cards, in this case the 4 aces and then the 3 random cards. So you're going to now pick up the 7 cards. You're going to pick up all the cards from the break. You're going to lift them up and explain to your spectator that you are going to introduce them to your 4 of a kind. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take off the cards one at a time. So you can start here with the ace of spades. So you're going to say we have the ace of spades. You're going to turn it over and then slide it to the bottom of the pile. And while you're doing this, guys, it is important that you cover the front of the pile with your fingers here and try not to let them see the thickness of this pile, because there obviously is a difference between 4 and 7 cards, and they may get suspicious if they see this pretty thick packet of cards here. So make sure you are covering like this. After you slid off the first card, turn it over. So you have the ace of spades. You're going to do the same thing with the other 3. Ace of hearts, square it up, turn it over. Ace of clubs, bring that there to the bottom, show them. And then you have the last card, the ace of diamonds, bring that to the bottom and show them. And you're going to take the 7 cards and place them on top. So make sure you're turning it over pretty quickly, because if you are slow in turning it over, you are going to kind of reveal the thickness there. You do not want your spectator to get suspicious. So turn it over quickly, place the 4 cards on top, but in reality, you're placing 7. Now at this point, you have your 3 random cards on top and then the 4 aces below following these cards. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to tell your spectator, okay, I'm going to deal the 4 aces onto the table. And in reality, you are dealing your 3 random cards and then 1 ace. So here's what I like to do. I like to place the first card that goes kind of in front here. This is a random card, and I like to go left to right or right to left, depending on how you are holding the cards here. So I just like to go left to right because it's more convenient. So I'm going to deal off these cards. So I have random, 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 and then an ace, in this case the ace of spades, and the other 3 aces are on top of the deck. So once you have dealt out your cards, make sure you keep track of where your cards are. Just know, before you dealt the cards, you have 3 random cards and the 4 aces following. So this is what I like to do at this point in the trick. I like to kind of just turn over these 2 just to myself and make it seem like that all these cards are aces, but in reality, this is just a subtle psychological move to your spectator. So here's what I mean by that. You're going to tell your spectator, okay, I'm just going to rearrange the aces a little bit. You're going to know this is the ace of spades or whatever ace it is, a random ace. And you're going to say, actually, I want this card to be face up at the front. And when you do that, your spectator will think more so that these 3 cards are the other 3 aces versus you just, not doing anything there, or just starting off by dealing this ace up top and then turning it over. So that is why I like to do this part. I hope that makes sense. So you just deal the cards off random, random, random. You have your ace. You're going to say, I actually want to rearrange them a little bit, turn that ace face up at the start, then you have your 3 random cards. But either way, you need to get into this position where you have your ace face up and then the 3 random cards. At this point, you're basically set up to do the final part of the trick. You have your deck here. You can just give them a quick riffle shuffle. Make sure you keep your 3 aces there on top. You're going to tell your spectator you're going to deal 3 cards face down on top of each card here. So you're going to deal the 3 aces now on top of this ace of spades. And then all of these cards are random that are going on top of the random cards. Your spectator thinks you're dealing 3 cards on top of each ace. From here, you're done with the deck. You can square up all of these piles like this. Snap your fingers over these 3. Do whatever you want to and show them that the aces disappeared from this pile, even though they weren't there in the first place. Your spectator is not going to know that. They are going to think the aces completely disappeared somehow. And then you go to the final pile, do whatever you want to, and show them the 3 aces found their way into this pile to make for a perfect 4 of a kind. So guys, that is the trick. It's really easy to perform. I hope this tutorial made sense. You guys can play around with how you deal the 4 cards to start there. And I hope that move made sense, where you kind of look at the cards to yourself first when you have the 3 random cards, and then, that ace that's right here. You just do that little move where you're like looking at the card. You're just like, here, I'm going to move this one face up, and then you finish the trick from there. So guys, that is the card trick. Definitely give this one a try. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Peace out.